If England do not win the World Cup, should Thomas Tuchel be sacked? There's a good reason why I'm asking this question. But before I get into it, if you enjoy England football, if you enjoy Premier League football, if you enjoy and are excited for the World Cup, please subscribe and like this video. So the World Cup is here and everyone's expecting Thomas Tuchel to deliver. The reason why so many people wanted Gareth Southgate out of the England picture was because when it got to that final line, that final hurdle, he failed to deliver. And that is exactly what Thomas Tuchel has been asked to do. What has Thomas Tuchel achieved already? I mean, for England, he's been pretty good. He's won all 8 World Cup qualifiers without conceding a single goal. Only the second European nation in history to win 10 competitive games in a row without conceding after Spain between 2014 and 2016. Some achievement. But at the end of the day, that's only World Cup qualifiers. We've seen England teams in the past, under Glenn Hoddle, Fabio Capello, do really well in the qualifiers, but then fail to deliver when it matters most. And that's the bottom line. You might think it's unfair to have a comparison with Gareth Southgate, because Tuchel is such a superior manager tactically, which I think we can all agree, but at the same time, in international football, it's much less about tactics. It's much more about how you perform in 7 games. That's all it takes to win the World Cup. Southgate, he got England to the semi-final of the 2018 World Cup, and that's the first time he did that since 1990. Then the final at Euro 2020, final again in Euro 2024. That's back-to-back finals. And still people wanted him gone because when it got to the bottom line, he did not deliver. He could not get us past that finish line. England have never been more successful than they were under Gareth Southgate since the 60s at the very least. And even then, soon after, England were failing to qualify for the World Cup, let alone even be in it. My concern with Tuchel, and this is coming from a Chelsea fan, I love him to pieces, and I think in cup tournaments, he's arguably one of the best managers in the world at doing this. But the friendlies recently have been quite concerning. Beaten by Senegal, drew with Uruguay, and lost to Japan. England haven't faced a single top 10 ranked nation competitively under Thomas Tuchel just yet. That worries me. Having to wait until it matters most. We're most likely not going to be playing a competitive team until the quarterfinal, until somebody like Brazil or Morocco. Do we want to wait that long? The fact we haven't seen Thomas Tuchel manage England against a top team yet, a top nation, worries me. Qualifying against Serbia, Albania, Latvia, Andorra, that's one thing, but beating France, beating Brazil, beating Germany, beating these top nations, that's a completely different thing. If England go out in the group stage, yeah, serious questions need asking. I think Tuchel would be gone at the doors. But if we lose round of 16, round of 32, he should be gone. If we get to the quarters and we lose against, let's say, Brazil, is that enough to keep him in the job? Because that's exactly why we brought him in. When it gets to these competitive games where Southgate quite often failed in, he's the man that's meant to make the difference. If England reach the final and we lose, do we sack him? A lot of people wanted Southgate sacked after getting to the Euros final, back to back, get into the semi-final in the World Cup. But I don't think we should be sacking Tuchel if we get to the final. We as England fans need to decide what success actually looks like. It's not only winning the World Cup. Because if we sack every manager who doesn't win the World Cup, we'll never keep anyone long enough to actually build something. And you have to build something to win the World Cup. Look at Spain, look at France, look at Argentina. They all built something beforehand. We need the foundation. In my opinion, Tuchel should not be sacked unless England massively underperform. But my minimum expectation is getting to the semis. I think it's a failure if we don't reach a semi-final of a World Cup, and maybe that's me being slightly deluded. Anything beyond the final, to me, that's a bonus, and that's success. And if we go out, remember what he built before judging him. Let me know what you think. What does success look like for England at this World Cup? And what point would you sack Tuchel? Drop it below. I'd love to know what you think.